Hi everyone, welcome again to World Regional Geography, Geography 3. This short video is going to serve as an introduction to your syllabus. I encourage you to go onto Canvas, download that syllabus, read it very carefully so you know everything that is going on there for the course. My name is Jamie Rossiter. Hopefully by now you've watched that quick introduction video to me so you know what I look like. I have office hours on Mondays from 10 to 11 a.m. on Google Hangouts. You do not need a Gmail account in order to use Google Hangouts. You can register with any email. You can find me under my Saddleback email, which is jrossiter0 at saddleback.edu. Don't forget the 0. You are also welcome to email me. I will typically get back to you within 24 hours, and during the week, likely a lot sooner than that. But if your modules are due on Sunday night, which they are, and you wait to the last minute to submit, and you email me at 11:30 on a Sunday night, I'm not going to get back to you till the next day. I am likely sleeping, but we will figure it out the next day. So what do? I'm an environmental geographer. I do a lot of research around conservation and marine protected areas and a little bit about urban agriculture, lots of sustainable fisheries stuff. I teach online for Saddleback, and I teach in person at Cal State San Marcos mostly. So again, I said in the introduction video, I'm not on Saddleback's campus, but you might get to meet me when we do an extra credit field trip, hopefully, if I could sneak one in there. So what is this class all about that you have signed up for, World Regional Geography? According to the Saddleback College catalog, this course is an introduction to the world's geographical regions and major countries with an emphasis on human cultural patterns and their evolution in diverse physical environments. This class is an introduction between physical and human geography, which I will explain in our first lectures what that is. But basically, we're covering different regions of the world. We do everything except for the US and Canada, mainly because we don't have time to fit all of them in. But it is a broad survey course, and I'll talk a little bit about what we're going to go over in each region. You have a required text for this class. It is Fundamentals of World Regional Geography, 4th edition by Hobbs. You need this text in order to successfully complete the course. I encourage you to rent it or share it or borrow it or anything that you can. You do, however, need the 4th edition. Because this is a class that deals with politics and commerce and a bunch of other things, we really need to have the most current textbook. If you were in my physical class, you might be able to use a previous edition, but really for this class, you need the current 4th edition. You also need to know your way around Canvas, which for some of you, this might be a new thing. It is a new thing for me this semester. So I mentioned that in my introduction video. Please be patient with me if I run into something on Canvas that's a little bit squirrely. Please let me know if something is not working or you can't see your grade. Again, this is my first semester using it. Lots of experience with Blackboard and less with Canvas. So when you go on to the course on Canvas, which you have if you're watching this, you can see that there's the Welcome to the Class, start here, which is where you are right now. We then have modules. Each week is divided into a module. This week is module 1. Modules will become available on midnight on Sunday, and you have until midnight the following Sunday to complete it. So this one is a little bit of an exception because it's the first week, but generally speaking, your modules are due Sunday at midnight, and that's when the next one will appear. You cannot work ahead in this class. We're actually not supposed to let you work ahead. Some students want to sit down in the first few weeks and complete the whole course, but we are required to kind of work together as a class. You will also find different things there, including map quiz study guides, which I'll talk about in a second, exam study guides. If this wasn't a picture and I could scroll down, you would see also things about your final paper. So there is one that should say exception, not exceptions. The last module that should say is due. Wow, look at all my typos. Guys, that's terrible. Your last module is due on a Wednesday. Your last module is basically just your final exam and a short course survey. It's due on a Wednesday because that's when the semester ends. I can't accept any work after that Wednesday. So what is the coursework for this class? In the first module, you're going to take a short plagiarism quiz that you can take up to 3 times to improve your score. It's just so we all know what plagiarism is and not to do it. You have map quizzes. There are 4 quizzes throughout the semester. They're worth 20 points each. You have study guides on there for the places that you need to know. Basically, they're multiple choice map quizzes. There'll be a number on a map and it will give you 4 choices if it's a city or a river or something like that. But if you study for them, you should have no problem. We have exercises, 20 of them worth 10 points each. These will either be discussion board posts, require you to do a little research on your own, write something about something from the that week's module. They're very clear. Each week you will have 1 or 2, depending on the week. You have your country journal, and the country journal is basically you are going to pick 1 country to write about for the entire semester. And so this country journal is going to kind of give you the foundation for your final paper. You may not choose the United States unless you have just come to the United States. But pick any country that you want to know more about, and 10 times throughout the semester, you're going to write a short country journal entry. Basically, you're going to find a news article, and you're going to give me the link to that news article, and you're going to write a very short 1 to 2 paragraph reaction to that news article, ideally connecting it more to course content and things that we have talked about. I realize that in the beginning, it's really hard to connect it to course content when we haven't done that much, but that will get progressively easier, and I will expect you to do that. There is a list of sources that you are allowed to use, which is posted on Canvas under, it looks like the folder that says country journals. If you do not use a source on this list, if you use one outside of it, you will not receive credit. If you do not include the link to the news article that you read, you will not receive credit for it. That being said, if there is a source that you want to use that is not on that list, I encourage you to email me and ask to get that approved. There are so much on the internet that is not accurate or vetted that I really want you to choose from those sources, or again, pick a source and ask me if you can use it. One of the sources on that list is World Crunch, which is a great website that translates news articles from around the world into English, reliable news articles. So if you are writing about Italy, it is great. You can get an Italian kind of perspective on the news. We have 3 exams in this class worth 100 points each that are a mix of multiple choice and short answer. And then you have a final paper, which is 100 points. And in your final paper, you're going to talk about that country that you wrote your country journal for. You're going to pick 4 out of 9 topics to just briefly go over things like economics or government or culture or religion. You're going to situate that country in its region, and then you're going to talk about connections to other regions. There is information available on the final paper on Canvas right now. If you kind of like to prep yourself for it and look for it, there's a rubric about how I'm going to grade it. We have a final survey in this class, which is worth 15 points. It's an anonymous survey that you fill out that basically gives me feedback on the online course and allows me to improve it in the future. And that gives us a total of 760 points for the semester, which is a ton of points. I design classes so that exams don't make or break you, papers don't make or break you, one exercise doesn't make or break you. There are lots of different ways to gain points and learn in this class. Late assignments, full credit for late assignments will only be given in case of a documented illness or another valid documented reason, which is up to my discretion. 10% will be deducted per day for lateness. After 1 week, assignments will not be accepted. I encourage you that if you didn't submit your module on time, submit it the next day. Get 90% of those points. 90% of those points is a lot better than no percentage of those points. Also, it rings true except for the last module. The last module is due on that Wednesday. I cannot accept any work after that Wednesday. Special accommodations, if you have a physical or learning disability for which you receive accommodation, please let me know as soon as possible. Email me copies of the documents associated with your disability accommodation. All materials posted to Blackboard will be accessible to students, that should say Canvas actually, with disabilities. Please let me know if you encounter any issues with accessibility. Cheating and plagiarism, I'm not going to read this whole thing here. This is a copy of it from the syllabus. You're going to take a plagiarism quiz. Ignorance will not be accepted as an excuse. If you plagiarize on an assignment or your final paper, you will receive a 0 for that assignment. Course schedule. Every week is divided into a module. For that module, you can see the topics that we're going to cover, the assignments that are due, and the chapters that you should be following along in your book. So this week we have exercise 1 due, which is just basically introducing yourself to the class, your plagiarism quiz, and your first country journal entry. So you want to follow along with this schedule and pay close attention to it. The lectures I recorded in previous semesters, so there's a chance that at the end I'll say, now you're going to proceed on to exercise whatever. Just follow the module in order. Don't necessarily follow what I say at the end of lecture, but everything in every module is laid out sequentially in how you should be doing it. So once again, welcome to the class. I hope you have a great semester, and please contact me if you have any questions.